Hi everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Travis's Musings. This episode is going to be slightly different than the past, as we're going to dispense with the opening monologue and we're going to dive right into taking a look at today's topic, which, to my chagrin, is all about Mr. Matt Edlin. I mentioned back in January that I thought Matt's strategy 86104, which is an all equity strategy, was not getting enough credit on the forums because while it is not quite as flashy, it is, in Matt's opinion, the only way to effectively and consistently beat the other equities funds. And you can take a look back here over the last 16 years. Matt he's beaten the C fund every single year, and he's only lost to the S fund if this year holds, which I'm pretty sure it will. Only 3 times has he lost to the S fund over the last 16 years. And so that's pretty impressive. And if you had taken a look at one of my earlier videos, I discussed the importance of beating the stock market by a single percentage point. So that being said, if there are some of you out there who are on the fence about what strategy you want to dive into, how do you minimize your loss exposure versus staying buy and hold, this is a really nice hybrid strategy. This would be similar to a buy and hold strategy that utilizes seasonal tendencies in order to maximize your buy and hold returns. And Matt has been on this bandwagon for a couple of years, and I am slowly starting to turn around on that path, mostly because this year's been a pretty rough year for all of the admins, minus Matt. And he's going to be enjoying multiple cold beers here as we roll into January. So let's go ahead and take a look at the 1 and 5 year returns on Matt's strategy here versus the CNS. So you can see from November 27th, 19 to present, we have Matt trailing the S fund by about 3.5%, and he is beating the C fund by about 5.5%. And if you go back 5 years, though, so over the course of a 5-year run, Matt is doing exceptionally well. His strategy has beat the C fund by, looks like about 33%. Am I thinking of that right? 18, 20, actually a little more than that. 8 and 24. So 33%, yeah. And the S fund by about 35% there. So that's pretty incredible. Especially when you take a look at what that does to your account balance over the course of that timeline. And of course, you can go all the way back to December 29, 2003, and the compounding interest return is exceptional. So something to think about as you guys go forward. This is a way to, quote unquote, ride the market out while taking advantage of seasonality. I really like it. I'm heavily considering a all equity strategy for 2021 and focusing more of my risk on with my own personal outside retirement investment accounts. So that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at December, what we've got going on Matt's strategy. So Matt's strategy is going to spend the first half of the month in the C fund and the back half of the month in the S fund, which historically has given him a December return of 1.73%, when compared to the C fund at 0.85 and the S fund at 1.2, has been a nice combination of funds in order to beat the average percentage over the course of that month. A lot of people have a misconception that the CNS fund run pretty similar, and this month is a pretty good example, or this year is a pretty good example of when that's not the case. The S fund is beating the C fund by 10%. Though November was incredible, to be perfectly honest. November had a 19.5% month for the S fund. That's insane. These, as you can kind of see down here, if you're not a member of the TSPcalc website, I would take a look at joining. These are some of the premium features. You've got the trading day comparison tool, which allows you to benchmark multiple strategies together and compare them against each other on an easy to read format. And of course, the colored trading day comparison calendars. And then of course, you also get the text and email alerts for your chosen strategy. So At this time, we're going to jump on over to ThinkorSwim, which is a free program associated with TD Ameritrade. I have no affiliation other than the fact that I really like this program. And I want everybody to take a look here at the C Fund and just appreciate. So I'm using the SPY, which is also known as the Spider, to represent the S&P 500. It's a miniaturized version of that by a factor of 10. So for those of you not good at math, basically you can move your decimal point one place to the right, and it gets a little more close approximation of the S&P 500. So from its low on March 23rd to its high today, the market has gone up 68%. And that's pretty incredible. And to be honest, I don't know where we're going from here. The market has shown, and as we've talked about ad nauseum, the continued divide between Main Street and Wall Street. So for those of you guys who don't understand why the stock market is not reacting to the continued economic pressures that we've seen, it's complicated, and it's also not complicated. I mean, we've got the government that continues to prop up our economy through basically stimulus packages, etc. And at the same time, the mom and pop shops that you see on every corner are not the ones that are representing who are struggling. They're not representing the majority of members of the stock market. So companies like Walmart and Amazon are doing just fine during this, while a lot of these smaller companies who are not publicly traded companies are the ones that are struggling. Now, do we have long-standing ramifications that are going to come from that as we start getting some of the middle class income out? Maybe, probably. But as we roll into December and hopefully after the first of the year, things will begin to hopefully start normalizing. We've got a lot of promising vaccines that are coming, and we're going to see how the stock market reacts to that. The stock market on the whole likes consistency. They don't like change and uncertainty. And we're going to take a look, and it'll be interesting as we roll into December and January, how the market responds to all new highs and really an incredible run through the month of November. So, and that's kind of all we've got for today, everybody. And so hopefully you join us next time I think in December, we're going to be focusing on the admin strategies, which is going to be a lot of fun. We've all been talking back and forth within our moderator chat concerning what everybody's going to do next year. And everybody really is still on the fence. And so it'll be kind of fun to get everybody's strategies together. And I will hopefully be doing a reveal during my next Musings. So anyways, everybody make sure you guys stay safe, and we'll catch you next time.